Hey y'all, it's Amy, your favorite tarot reader, meteorologist, and parksy. And this is going to be a water parks reading. I was told to do this several days ago and I neglected my duty. So, basically, what's about to happen, I have my water parks playlist up on Spotify. I'm about to hit play and let it shuffle and see what songs come up. And we're going to do a tarot reading based on that. Cool? Cool. Song number one, Funeral Gray. So, Funeral Grave. 11 p.m. She walked in with the friends. Okay. What is this reading going to be about? What are we talking about in this reading? We have the Hierophant. Okay, so this Funeral Grey is on the album Intellectual Property, which is about religious deconstruction. And we have the Queen of Wands. And then the Sun. And the World. This is interesting. Four of Pentacles and the Star. Okay. So, okay, I think religious deconstruction may be the theme here, but let's keep it kind of vague too. This feels like breaking away from everything you were taught, maybe, or from the tradition, breaking away from tradition or something very entrenched, and going out on your own and looking for truth. So if we're talking religious deconstruction, this would be growing up in the church or growing up in this tradition, and you want to kind of break out of that and go on a search by yourself to see what you hold as true. Because, and it's possibly your motivation here is that what you have been sold as faith or religion or whatever, it doesn't feel firm. It feels very shaky and it makes you very uncertain. And you're looking for something that instead instills hope within you and trust. And that's the booklet. I can't shuffle a booklet. I could try. It would be difficult. And I kept hearing the line, she walked away, walking away from the church. Not enough, the everyone story, card 35. And then card 26, the infinite ocean of ideas we're all allowed to swim in. So another motivating factor is that you never felt like you were Christian enough, you were never good enough, you were never chaste enough, you were never whatever, okay? And this could be non-religious, this could be cutting communication with your family because it's toxic, or leaving a friend group because it's not healthy for you, something like that. Now low-key as hell is on. So I think of the first line, I just cried into a shirt I could never afford last year, and it just makes me think, now relax, it's still just the loading screen. Card number one just came up. As I'm about to say, I feel like where you will be a year from now is going to look completely different. You're going to feel completely different. There's some big changes ahead. But you're still at step one right now. You're still on the loading screen, babe. You have to allow things to unfold. And it's valid if you're having struggles that other people think shouldn't be struggles. If your struggles are still valid. Card number 9, the Protectress. Strength, boundaries, amulet. Your energy is valuable. Protect it well. So I feel like that is something you need to keep in mind throughout this progress, is protecting your mind, your personal energy, you. Protecting yourself. And that could be like if you're dabbling in witchery, learning about like amethyst and different like protective crystals and herbs and whatnot, like kind of thinking about that physically. This could also just be about learning to protect your energy. If you are sensitive to energies, sometimes I feel pulls on my energy and I have to address that. Specifically, like my daughter and I are very connected, and like I'll be driving home and start like I'll just be in a bad mood all of a sudden. Get home, she's in a bad mood. Like, but you have to kind of learn how to suss that out. Now, A Night Out on Earth is on, which was also on Intellectual Property. I really dig that song. This is one of my favorite songs on that album. I don't have a favorite waterpark song, but this is close. I've also seen, not last night, but the not tonight, but the 2 nights prior, there's a little green frog outside my apartment. I've also seen moths lately. That's been pretty dope. So we have the Knight of Wands. That feels right with this song. Also the 7 of Pentacles. So the moves you're making, think of them as planting seeds. Also, that is some imagery that's used in the EPs of like planting seeds. So, okay. You are back at the loading screen. You're at the beginning. This is the time where you are planting the seeds that you hope to nurture over the next however long this is going to unfold for you, so that you will one day have a harvest, okay? I just picked up my deck. We have the Ace of Swords, Death, and the King of Swords. This is like the very beginning of the Swords suit. This is the very end. A whole lot of change is going to unfold between step 1 and step however long it takes. You're going to change. The people around you will change. The environment you're in will change as you are on this journey toward whatever this is. So right now it would behoove you to think about the seeds that you want to plant, so that you can start rolling those things. So if we're talking religious deconstruction, you could be like, I don't vibe with this belief system anymore. However, I know that I aim to be a kind person who is charitable and, keeps a $5 bill in my wallet to hand it out if I see a homeless person, right? Like, you identify the things about yourself, regardless of whether they have to do with faith. You just kind of like you would identify the key tenets of yourself that you want to honor. I am kind, I am thoughtful, I am generous. I protect myself. I open up when I am able. I protect my energy, but I also extend energy to others when it is safe for me to do so. Those, you come up with those key tenets of yourself that you want to nurture over this time. Yes, I can unpack the faith that I have been raised in, but I could still be a kind and generous person, right? Like for me, my religious deconstruction has been moving away from religion and moving toward a personal relationship with Christ and being Christ-like, because that's what's right for me, and that is in alignment with the seeds that I wanted to plant. But basically, you're still at the loading screen. You're still on step 1. Now's the time to just think about, like, who do you want to be? Who would you want to be if religion didn't exist? What type of person would you want to be? Kind of start there. Go listen to A Night Out on Earth. I just feel like the lyrics need to get into your brain. Hold on. Write your future self a letter. At the very end of the song, which is their like latest release, they go back to a radio interview that Otto and Austin showed up for, like a flashback to that beginning, right? Write your future self a letter and figure out who you want to be and who you hope to be then. Address yourself as you hope to be. Yeah. Okay. I love you. Have a great night.